Race fans, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Paddock Headquarters. So I want to talk about the cost cap issue. I just want to touch on that again. I know we're at race week. We're a couple days from having cars on the grid. Friday we'll be qualifying. Saturday, I believe East Coast time, 10:30 a.m. for the sprint race on Saturday. And then the Grand Prix, Austrian Grand Prix at Red Bull Ring, 9 a.m. a Sunday morning, East Coast time here in the United States. So there are a number of opportunities for the teams to earn some points this weekend with the sprint race and the Grand Prix itself. I'm not a big fan of the sprint races, as you may know from my previous videos, but nevertheless, we will have a sprint race this weekend, and some of the teams can really take an opportunity to have 2 days to gather some points over the weekend. So teams like Alpine, McLaren, Ferrari might really have a chance to put something together here and come out of this weekend with some points. So I want to address James Vowles, the team principal for Williams Racing. Williams Racing, of course, legendary legacy team in Formula One, family owned and run up until a couple years ago, where it was sold to venture capital firm. Dorilton Capital, I believe, owns the team now, or the majority of it. So they were in a position where they did not have money in the past, but they might have access to some capital now. And what Vowles is saying, his problem with the cost cap is this. You put in a cost cap for these teams, they can't exceed it over the year on these Formula One programs. And I thought the cost cap was at $135 million, but it does look like the cost cap for this year is $145 million. So that being said, what Vowles is saying, now Vowles came from Mercedes, which is an extremely wealthy team, have plenty of money, have plenty of resources, and have plenty of infrastructure that they've spent money on and developed over the years. So he went from Mercedes, this is Vowles, the team principal, to Williams, which was using really outdated equipment. They didn't have much. They were shoestringing it along, really surviving in Formula One until they've gotten this resurgence with the new owners. And what he's saying is if you put that cap in place on these teams, then the teams that are in the older or non-performing category or didn't have the money in the past, might have money now. They can't spend to catch up, which would be the goal of Formula One, is making these teams more competitive. But because you put the cap lock on all of these teams, they're in a position where you might have baked in the advantage to the teams that have already spent in the past on their infrastructure, on their programs, on their technology. So what he's saying essentially is, you put the cost cap in, yeah, that's a good idea in some way, but you also locked in the disadvantages for those teams at the back end because now they can't spend more to catch up to the front end teams. Now, I don't know the answer to this, right? I do think you have to have a cost cap because if the higher or wealthier teams were allowed to continue to keep spending, then the teams would never catch up, period. So maybe the answer is they have to scale it for a couple years, and a few of maybe the back five teams or the back three teams have a little bit more room under the cap. Obviously, it would have to be an agreement between all of the owners and Formula One and FIA. But other than scaling the cap for a couple years and allowing those the back teams to spend a little bit more for a short period of time, I don't really know what the answer would be in giving them room to catch up, other than fate or luck or, whatever it may be, just finding the right driver at the right time. That's really kind of the question to ask. So that's where we're at. We have racing this weekend. I just wanted to touch on that cost cap issue again because it's very interesting to me. It's new to the sport. And there's clearly some growing pains that Formula One and the FIA have to work through in order to achieve their goal of the most competitive product that they could put on the grid. So let me know what you think. Thank you for watching my content. All things Formula One. I'll drop another video tomorrow. I will see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.